Hello everyone, this is Pooka and welcome to another Pokemon TCG video. I apologize for the lack of videos lately, but sometimes real life does get in the way, and I'm not able to make as many videos, sorry, but hey, here's a video, and on a weekend, no less, so hope this makes up for it a little bit. Today we're going to revisit an archetype that I've revisited many times before, but now it's going to be updated with the new standard format, boundaries crossed through Furious Fist, and it's going to be a deck revolving around Hydreigon. So this particular version, this set did rotate out Dragons Exalted, but of course Hydreigon was reprinted in Legendary Treasures, so we have him back for another season. He has the ability Dark Trance. Get to move your darkness energy around as much as you want. So this is going to be very similar to that Aromatisse deck I featured before, where you're trying to move around your energy and use different attackers and so on and so forth. This is going to be a little bit different though. This is darkness energy, so the deck's going to have a little bit more, a little bit different of strategy, I suppose. Since we can use a little bit different attackers, I guess. Alright, so Dark Trance is awesome. One of the advantages Hydreigon has over Aromatisse, though, is number one, 150 HP. Very difficult to pick off and knock out on the bench. Aromatisse only has 90, so it's very easy for an opponent to, play a Lysander, bring out your Aromatisse, knock it out. 150, not so simple. Your opponent has to devote quite a few resources to knock this guy out, so I do like that advantage, having the higher HP. Of course, it is a stage 2, but the second advantage is the awesome attack Dragonblast. So for 4 energy, we do 140 damage, and then discard 2 darkness energy. Very costly, but it is such a powerful attack on a non-EX Pokemon. It seems to come up quite a bit. So I love having that attack at my disposal when I'm playing this deck. Just very good at the end of the game sometimes to just clean up for one last big hit with your non-EX. Very good in the middle of the game sometimes as well. Anyway, enough of that. I'm sure most people know what he does. I am running a pretty thick line of it. 3 Dino, 2 Zweilous, and then 3 Hydreigon. I am running 2 of the Stage 2 because Seismitoad EX exists. So we're running 2 Zweilous and then 2 Rare Candy as well. You'd have a little bit of the speed still, but we're going to go with 2 of the Stage 1 just so we can get it out against Seismitoad as well. Our Pokemon are actually going to be pretty straightforward. There's room for a lot of creativity with this kind of a deck, but I'm just going to run a pretty straightforward list on my first time with this deck. 2 Darkrai EX. This is the natural synergy with Hydreigon. You can move your darkness energy around. Darkrai gives you free retreat if you have a darkness energy attached. So you just move your energy wherever you want, get free retreat, and that's pretty cool. You can just move between your attackers. Of course, Night Spear is pretty good as well. 90 and 30 to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Pretty solid. We don't have Dark Patch anymore, so we're going to have to rely on this regular Yveltal a little bit for energy recovery and maybe a little bit of acceleration early on in games. Oblivion Wing, of course, 30. Gets a darkness energy back on one of your bench Pokemon. 130 HP makes it a little difficult to knock out sometimes, so it's nice having this guy. Darkness Blade, not going to use it very often, but it's there just in case. Main attacker of the deck will be Yveltal EX. Evil Ball, of course, does a lot of damage. And then Y Cyclone's very nice as well for conserving energy and doing a good chunk of damage at the same time. So Yveltal EX, I think everybody knows what this does at this point. One of the most popular cards, one of the most powerful cards. It's just very good, and there are many decks revolving around it. So this is just another deck that can take advantage of this big Y bird. I don't know how else to describe it. It's a Y, and it's a bird, and it's evil. I guess we can say evil. But anyway, yeah, really good card. And then we have a couple of our tech Pokemon as well. Virizion EX, very important. Verdant Wind. If you have a grass energy on your active, it blocks special conditions. Of course, we're going to be running Rainbow Energy. It provides darkness energy, and then we get to move it around. So when it's on your active, Virizion EX blocks those hypnotoxic lasers. So it's very, very strong against decks not running Garbodor, but running hypnotoxic laser. And you never know when special conditions will come up. Then we have 1 Mewtwo EX. You never know when you want to use Mewtwo instead of Yveltal EX. There are some Psychic Weak Pokemon out there that we could take advantage of, Things like Lucario EX, we could very easily knock out with Mewtwo EX. So having one of these guys in here seems pretty good. You could probably replace him with something else, but I always like having a Mewtwo sitting around. And then we also have one Suicune. With Landorus EX existing and being so strong, I am a big advocate of Suicune right now. Safeguard, of course, safeguards it from Pokemon EX. And then Aurora Beam does 70. Landorus EX is weak to water. And then we can just attach a Muscle Band and do 90 times 2. Knock out a Landorus EX in one hit. So I love Suicune right now. I try to fit it in as many decks as possible. Not sure if that's a good idea or not, but it definitely fits into this deck, I would say, without a doubt. All right, so those are the Pokemon for the deck. Of course, with Dark Trance, we are going to be running 3 copies of Max Potion. You might want to run 4 just because it's so darn good to, move the energy away and then heal off all the damage with the Max Potion and then move the energy back. Keep attacking. It's pretty good. We're going to be running supporter cards. Surprise, surprise. For Professor Juniper. And then for N, we're going to be doing 3 Skyla and then 2 Chorus as well. And then 2 Lysander, the big guy. He helps out a lot in this deck. And then a Dowsing Machine for the A-Spec card. Seems like the best A-Spec for this kind of a deck. This deck does miss Tropical Beach. It was pretty nice to have that as a fail-safe to set up. Sometimes you're a little slow with the Stage 2 and whatnot, but we do not have that anymore, so we're going to have to just rely on more standard supporter engine setup kind of thing. So yeah. Instead of Tropical Beach, we're actually going to be running Shadow Circle. So this is kind of a strange card to have in this deck. I'm just kind of trying it out. I don't know if it's worth it or not, but each Pokemon in play that has any Darkness energy attached has no weakness. So this can be very helpful against something like a Team Plasma deck, maybe, where you're attacking with Yveltal EX and you don't want to get hit by that big Thunderous EX. Could be a big problem. Using a Mewtwo EX sometimes can put him in harm's way if your opponent plays their own Mewtwo EX. Now you can just attack with Mewtwo and he's got no weakness. That's pretty cool. So Shadow Circle, I do like it. Maybe it's not as useful now that Raichu isn't as prevalent in the format, but hey, Shadow Circle, and then, attack with a Darkrai against a Landorus all of a sudden becomes viable again. Just something to think about. You could probably replace this for other things, but I thought it was worth trying out. 4 Ultra Ball, just to search out the old Pokemon. 2 Startling Megaphone to discard Pokemon tools. Very, very important against Garbodor. We kind of shut down without our abilities, so Startling Megaphone, very important in this deck, and I think that just about wraps it up. We've seen everything in here. We have the 8 Darkness Energy, the 4 Rainbow Energy. I might want to fit in a Professor's Letter into this deck, but we'll live with the list right now and just jump right into a game I played on Pokemon TCG Online. Let's see. One of my favorite decks, Hydreigon in action. I always love trying to use this deck again. I actually have a very good record with this deck over the course of the past few years. I love playing it. Seems like a very underrated deck all the time, but hey, we'll see what happens. Let's start off with the Yveltal EX and Virizion EX, and then play an N right here. I go up against a Seismitoad EX, so I'm just going to say goodbye, triple Ultra Ball, and let's grab, I don't know, a Darkrai. I guess that could help out with some free retreating at some point. And we'll bench the Dino. I'm not actually going to play the Darkrai down because that could get Lysandered out. Then it could be kind of annoying. Could slow down my Evil Ball. I don't care if Virizion EX gets Lysandered out. Seismitoad's not doing much to Virizion. I don't care if Dino gets Lysandered out too much. I don't feel like I'll get Hydreigon out anytime soon, but there's no need to bench Darkrai there, I don't think. We do see a couple Hypnotoxic lasers, one's keeping me asleep, and then a Computer Search. Probably going to grab that double Colossus that we're going to see right there. And I'll get hit by the turn 1 Quaking Punch, and a Spiritomb as well. And, oh, no, I stay asleep. Oh, that's frustrating. That is just beyond frustrating. If I would have woken up, I could have just easily Evil Balled for 100, and then Seismitoad would have been knocked out next turn, and things would have been beautiful. But now we got this nonsense going on. I'm actually going to play my hand down to 0. Going to Lysander out the Spiritomb, because if my opponent draws an energy, I don't want to give him a chance, or her a chance. I don't know if that's a guy or a girl. It's a female avatar, but you never know. Don't want to give a chance to use Hexed Mirror, but my opponent top decks an N, and we both get 6 fresh cards, and I'm feeling pretty good about that. So now we got stuff to work with. Unfortunately, my stuff is a lot of item cards I am unable to play. So I could Evil Ball here for 100 damage. Doesn't seem like a very good play, though. I'll just get knocked out by Quaking Punch, and I'll have no real follow-up. So I'm actually going to retreat to Yveltal. You know, I have the Darkrai, the Dark Cloak, and let's go with the Oblivion Wing for 30. Not going to get any energy back, but hey, it's a big Pokemon, not going to be knocked out in one hit. Get a hit for a little bit of damage. 2 Oblivion Wings, and then a 2 Energy Evil Ball. 3 Energy Evil Ball. Should be a knockout, but no, we see a Lysander, a Quaking Punch. What is happening in this game? All sorts of stuff, so I have nothing. Just going to go with an Oblivion Wing onto the benched Yveltal EX, setting up perhaps for a knockout next turn if I draw another energy. Right, I could just Evil Ball for the knockout. My opponent doesn't have a whole lot set up in the back there, but what a Pokemon Center lady! What? Okay, so that's going to heal off that Seismitoad EX completely, which is very annoying. Not cool at all. Alright, so I'm just going to drop down the Shadow Circle. I did top deck an N there. Going to go ahead and play it, I suppose. And I do get his Zwilus out, which is huge. Now next turn we could possibly get Hydreigon. And that will be incredibly important, just to be able to start maneuvering my energy around in circles. And, you know, just attacking with different things, right? We can just attack with all different sorts of Pokemon. They can only get hit by a Quaking Punch for 50, so not going to do much. Then we can just retreat to a fresh Pokemon and so on and so forth. So it was Zwilus there. Big draw off that end. And, you know, we should be able to Evil Ball for a knockout next turn. So looking good. If I can get Hydreigon out next turn, I can either Emerald Slash with Virizion EX or Night Spear with Darkrai. Both of those are good options. But looks like neither of those are going to happen, as I Juniper and draw 7 cards of nothing. Well, I mean, I got stuff, but not stuff I wanted. The number 1 card I wanted was Hydreigon there. The problem here is if I Evil Ball for the knockout, there's an Yveltal EX with the double colorless on it already. So it would simply Evil Ball me for a knockout, and that's not good. So instead of taking the knockout here, which seems like the obvious play, I'm actually going to retreat and then just push up that regular Yveltal again, hit for another 30 damage, and just say, you know what, I'm just going to put this guy up here as kind of a sacrifice. If you knock him out, great. If you don't, even better. But I need to play a little bit more conservatively here. I can't just jump in there and say, all right, knockout, and then I'll get knocked out right back, and then there's just going to be a big Yveltal EX that I can't deal with. Doesn't seem like a good idea. My opponent would be down to 2 prizes. No, not a good plan. Sometimes patience is the name of the game, and that is definitely going to be the name of the game right now. So Seismitoad EX looks like just going to see a Quaking Punch after Jirachi uses Stellar Guidance for a Chorus for 10 cards. All sorts of explosive plays happening. But you can notice without Dark Patch, things aren't quite as explosive. I can just end my opponent down to 4 cards here. Trying to get the Hydreigon again, but no. However, I did set myself up for an Emerald Slash knockout, so take that, Seismitoad EX. We're going to hit you for 100, and the math's going to work out where that Yveltal EX on the bench cannot knock me out next turn, unless we see like an energy switch, which would have definitely caught me off guard, but even if that happened, I would have been able to get Hydreigon, power up my Yveltal EX, boom, knock out his Yveltal, and things would have been just great. But here we just see an Oblivion Wing. Smart play from my opponent, setting up the benched Yveltal EX with a bunch of energy. And alright, finally, Ultra Ball, here we go. Hydreigon coming into play. And alright, what are we going to do? I'm just going to drop Darkness Energy onto my Darkrai. And you know what? Let's just retreat. And my opponent doesn't have nearly enough energy to knock out a Darkrai without a laser. And again, with Virizion EX, the Rainbow Energy, we can just go ahead, block that Hypnotoxic laser altogether. and feel pretty good about myself. All right, we're not going to get a knockout here, but we will set this Yveltal up to be knocked out on a following turn with another Night Spear or with an Oblivion Wing from regular Yveltal. And then we can also hit a benched Pokemon for 30, probably one of those Yveltal EX. I'm going to go for that one. Probably should have hit the other one with the Muscle Band, but hindsight is 2020, as they say. We see a Juniper coming down and an Energy on the other Yveltal EX, but I really don't think I'll be knocked out here. Right, just an Oblivion Wing for 50 damage. Another Energy will come on to the field. And this is going to be weird. I've started out pretty far behind, I think. Lost the first Yveltal EX to a quick Seismitoad EX. But now I can see we're starting to build up a little bit of a comeback here. Oops, a little bit of a mistake there. Probably should have attached that Rainbow to Yveltal before playing the Max Potion. That way I could have just healed off all that damage. Whoops. A little mistake there. A little rusty, I guess, but oh well. Now just look at how much damage, or not damage, look at how much energy I've built into play. This is ridiculous. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 energy in play. We're going to spread that around a little bit. And I'll have another one. I'll Oblivion Wing for the knockout. No need to put an EX in danger. Now there is an Yveltal EX with a lot of energy. So we'll just go ahead and push up the non-EX. We'll put a Rainbow Energy on him too, so that a Hypnotoxic Laser can't make a knockout easier. And, I mean, just look at this. This is pretty good. We have double Hydreigon going. We have a billion energy in play, approximately a billion. And we got the prize lead. I mean, all sorts of good stuff happening here. As a blank card goes down on my opponent's side. Not sure what that is. It is downloading from the internet. And we'll see what it turns into. Oh, just a Darkness Energy. And the Skyla goes for an N here. But I'll be interested to see what my opponent does. Just a Y Cyclone for 110 damage. That's not very good. But, yeah, we're just going to see the Y Cyclone not even knocking out that Yveltal. And I think this is the turn for Hydreigon to pounce. I think I'm going to Dragonblast here. Seems like the thing to do. But my question is, do I Lysander, the benched Yveltal EX that already has 30 damage? That way I could just set up for a big Evil Ball for the win next turn. Or do I just Dragonblast the active? And then if I Dragonblast the active, I will set up for a 3-prize Night Spear next turn with a Lysander. So, I don't know. Both seem like decent options. My one concern with the hitting the active, setting up for the big Night Spear, is number one, my opponent played an Skyla for an N, so I might not even have the Lysander next turn. Number two, a Max Potion could happen, ruining my play completely. So I think we're just going to go all in for it right now. I'm going to go ahead, Lysander, that benched Yveltal EX. Seems like a pretty good plan. And try to get the win in just 2 turns here. Now, this could backfire pretty badly if my opponent has a Lysander of his own. That could be bad, but certainly a risk I'm willing to take at this point. I'm going to Lysander out the benched Yveltal EX. And you know what? I can just Max Potion my Yveltal EX. Preserve that beautiful resource. And we'll go ahead. Dark Trance a Rainbow over to it so there can be no laser shenanigans either. And there we go. Going to just Dragon Blast. And now it seems like we've almost locked the game down. Checkmate on board. That's what it seems like. There could be something that goes wrong here in end to 1. I might not actually have game on board, but it's looking pretty good right now. And there's an end to 1. Gets me a Skyla. That should just give me a Muscle Band, and that'll be enough to win the game. No matter what comes out, I should be able to Evil Ball for a lot of damage. So you can see just slowly accumulating energy in play. Max Potion, not doing a whole lot this game, but doing just enough. And yeah, once you get the Hydreigon going, you get your setup going, you just start doing all sorts of damage, your attackers keep moving around, and we end up with a turn like this. This is the most beautiful thing in the game right here. The Dark Trance, shove all your energy to one Pokemon and attack. This is what's fun about this deck. You just go, alright, move 8 energy to Evil EX, and let's throw on a Muscle Band for good measure. And alright, Evil Ball, that's going to be approximately 3,000 damage, and that will be a knockout. Well, approximately, more like 220, I guess, but close enough. And there we go. We've somehow managed to win the game after that turn 1 Quaking Punch. Slowed us down quite a bit with the laser heads, tails, and the sleep and everything. But we are a very resilient deck, our Hydreigon deck. And just something else to look out for. There's a lot of viable decks at the moment, so thought I'd show off another one. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will certainly have some more for you soon. I am Pooka from the Top Cut, and I'll see you guys next time.